Rage. Jimmy Fallon took aim at Prince Harry's speech at the 2025 Invictus Games, exposing it as a self-serving performance, while Meghan Markle's presence turned the event into a spectacle of self-glorification rather than a tribute to the veterans. Jimmy Fallon aimed his comedic critique at Prince Harry's opening ceremony speech during the 2025 Invictus Games in Vancouver, and the presence of Meghan Markle only amplified his jest. From his usual spot on The Tonight Show, Fallon dissected the Duke's speech with his signature humor, breaking down each line and exposing what he described as a transparent bid for self-glorification. The audience roared with laughter as Fallon made it clear that Harry wasn't there to honor the veterans. He was there for himself. With Meghan seated front and center, nodding along dramatically, Fallon asked, "Was anyone really surprised?" As clips of Harry's speech played, it became painfully evident that his delivery was less about honoring the wounded soldiers and veterans he claimed to champion and more of a performance filled with dramatic pauses, self-referential anecdotes, and rehearsed emotional outbursts. Rather than speaking to the veterans, he was speaking at them, positioning himself as the misunderstood hero in his own narrative. The audience at The Tonight Show needed little convincing. Fallon exaggerated Harry's tone, pretending to wipe away fake tears before launching into a melodramatic "This is about me." The room erupted in laughter. Then there was Meghan. The cameras captured every moment of her reactions, her supportive nods, well-timed looks of admiration, and her subtle yet deliberate presence, which ensured that all eyes were not just on Harry but on both of them. Fallon wasted no time pointing out how predictable it all seemed. Meghan wasn't merely there to support Harry. She was there to make sure the moment wasn't solely about the Invictus Games but about their brand. When Fallon played a clip of Harry saying, "Those who stand by us, guiding us in strength and resilience," the audience burst into laughter before he even spoke. "Gee, I wonder who he's talking about," Fallon joked, smirking as he mimicked Meghan dramatically clutching her chest, as if Harry's words had pierced her soul. The room roared with laughter. And even when Harry was meant to honor veterans, the speech somehow morphed into a carefully staged tribute to his wife. Fallon also highlighted Harry's habit of turning every speech into an emotional plea for sympathy, making it impossible to overlook how formulaic his approach had become. Each speech followed a similar structure: dramatic pauses, forced personal connections, and a closing that subtly reminded the audience of all he had sacrificed. It wasn't about the veterans or the spirit of resilience the Invictus Games represented. It was about reminding the world that he was still here, still relevant, and still demanding to be the center of attention. Meghan stood beside him, ensuring that the narrative remained intact. By the time Fallon wrapped up his segment, the message was crystal clear. Harry and Meghan weren't just attending the Invictus Games, they were starring in them. What should have been a celebration of wounded warriors and their incredible journeys had once again been hijacked by a couple more focused on crafting their image than honoring true resilience. "You can always tell when someone's being genuine," Fallon quipped in his final words, "and you can always tell when someone's performing." The audience understood, as did the viewers at home. The only lingering question was whether Harry and Meghan were aware of how transparent their act had become, or if they were too caught up in the performance to recognize that many had already seen through it.